Beat the Memphis Grizzlies 132-101 to put a capper on the 2025-2026 regular season on Fan Appreciation Night tonight. Fans liking what they saw in this one tonight. Not much resistance from the Grizzlies, but the Rockets taking care of business. Alongside the Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Good to see some guys get some run in this game tonight. Good to see some Rockets get some rest in this game tonight. Guys that have played a whole lot of minutes. Both of those a big plus for this Rockets team here tonight.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. The thing that impressed me about the players that got an opportunity to play tonight after sitting most of the season, not only did they come out and play well, but they played well together. The fact that they allowed the starters that played so many minutes this year to have, a rest period, but it was important that they made the other players feel important as part of the team to come in. And normally, when you have a game like this, everybody tries to get theirs. But the Rockets, as a team, didn't do that. They stayed within the confines of what they're supposed to do, and they look good doing it.
All right, Fun Can't Lose is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And tonight, Reed Shepherd, leads the league in games played because nobody can play more than 82, and he played in every single one of them for the Rockets this season. Finishes with 19 points in 26 minutes tonight.
Well, I've said this many times this season, but I enjoy watching him grow up right before our eyes as far as understanding and playing the NBA game itself. This young man is not even close to what he's going to be able to do as time goes on. He learned a lot of basketball because he got on-the-job training this year, and the fact that his teammates helped him to come along quicker.
Yeah, and he'll be a different player, obviously, in year two going into the playoffs. Playoffs that will start in Los Angeles against the Lakers. It is official. Denver Nuggets a win tonight in San Antonio. So Denver will be the 3 seed. Lakers will be the 4 seed. The Rockets will be the 5 seed. And then, of course, Minnesota, they'll be the 6 seed. Of course, 1 and 2. Know all too well, Oklahoma City and San Antonio, but it'll be the Rockets and the Lakers coming up. We'll talk a whole lot more about what you go ahead, man.
No, I want the fans to remember the years that the Rockets won the championships. They started on the road.
There you go. All right, Rockets try to do that. It'll be the Rockets and Lakers in round 1. Let's hear from Ime Udoka.
Just as you reflect on the regular season, which of course is now complete, how would you assess these 82 games, and what are you looking for from your team heading into the playoffs?
Some ups and downs, some growing pains at times, and some inconsistency. But when you can win 52 with some injuries and some first times for guys, I think it's not to our expectation of what we wanted to do, and I'd say seeding and all that, but seeing growth and toward the end of the season, playing some of our best basketball outside of, a few spurts here and there. And that's what you want to see, consistency, health, and good basketball going into the playoffs. And so, we know we've had ups and downs and let quite a few games slide. Could be obviously better than 52, but with all things considered and how we're playing and how we're feeling right now, we'll take it.
Clint's been really important, especially with Steven being out. What did you see from Clint, not only tonight, first, career made 3, but just in general?
Yeah, he's been good all year. It's like I said, he hadn't got a ton of minutes because Steven's so good in what he does and all that. But in the small amount of minutes he got, he was always winning his minutes and provides us a different look. And so it'll be important going forward that that's what you got him for. Injuries happen, back-to-backs happen, and gives us a different look. Rim protection, obviously, elite rebounder on both ends, and a lob threat. And so it's a little bit different there. We can just gives us more versatility, going small, going with him as a backup, and rounding him into shape, and it's good to go right now.
Coach, just over the course of your playing and coaching career, there's been a lot of playoff games, a lot of games in the regular season. How would you describe the difference between the two?
Playoffs and regular season? Oh, it's a whole nother ball game. Obviously, like the intensity, the possession battle, everything matters, and you can feel that even late in the season or in-season tournaments, stuff like that. You can feel the difference, and so certain matchups as well. You get a playoff atmosphere, but yeah, the attention to detail and obviously the scouting is way more in depth. You're not just playing 1 of 82, and so you have to prepare for that, and that's what we try to do in these last 10 to 15 was flip the switch and get into playoff mode as far as focus and mentally being ready for what's to come, and also physically, up in our physicality. And so I think we've done that for the most part, but now it's time to dig in on an opponent.
Your opponent will be the Los Angeles Lakers. What are your initial thoughts about the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, we, starting with tonight, or like I said, even 15 games ago, we really wanted to focus on ourselves and, playing the right way regardless of that. Obviously, the seedings and how close it is, too tough to do anything or try to pick an opponent. But for us, obviously, it's fresh that we lost 2 games to them recently, and then kind of flipped the switch since then. Had a really good game against them on Christmas, and obviously know they're injured, but, quality players across the board. You saw that with Minnesota that had guys out or whatever the case may be. It's still the NBA, and they have some really great players there, and so we'll have our hands full.
You talked about those 2 recent games you played against LA. The double teams on Kevin were a big factor in those games. How much better do you feel like you guys are equipped to handle those now than you were in March?
Yeah, I think we're better, and getting our spacing and not turning the ball over. That's where the majority of the problems came from, was not even completing the pass out of them. But even before then, we had seen it quite a few times, and the numbers show we're really good against a double team. But it really hurt us in the fourth quarter at times, and so it seems like it goes with it. If we pick it apart early, teams don't do it as much. But when they have success with it, they do it more in the fourth, and that was a big part, was the turnovers there, or not making the right reads out of that. And we've been up and down at times this year, but had enough practice and seen enough that it'll be something that we know we'll see again.
Were y'all watching the end of that San Antonio-Denver game in the locker room post-game?
Yes.
And was your staff kind of preparing for both situations? Were you not going to dive into prep until it was settled? How did that work, I guess?
Well, obviously, bless you. Obviously, we know both opponents pretty well, and played against them and had some ups and downs with both, but some good things as well. And so we had prepped for both. But as a coaching staff, we'll give the guys a few days off here to rest up and recover, and we'll dive into LA tomorrow.
Coach, last year was your first year in the playoffs with this team. A lot of first timers for a lot of those younger players as well. What do you think that you learned, and what will you be able to use to this playoff matchup?
Yeah, the intensity of it, the physicality of it, and getting off to a better start in the series in general. And like I said, at times it felt like it took us 2-3 games to kind of get down what we really wanted to get against Golden State, and kind of got behind and then worked our way back into it. If we started off better, it would have been a different series. And so that attention to detail, and not kind of deer in the headlights for the first time, I think guys are over that. But even without that, I think the majority of our young guys have played real minutes in real situations now. And a guy like Reed, who didn't play as much, or our men playing a different situation, different position, being in that situation last year will help. And so, we're missing some veterans, no doubt, with experience, but I think our young guys have grown up throughout the season.
Speaking of Reed, how do you feel that he's going to be able to handle some of the blitzes that are going to come at him on the offensive side, and maybe some of the searching him out on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think he's able to handle both much better this year. Like I said, the physicality on both sides of the ball is where he's really improved at. And, I like the versatility we have with him, Kevin, Amen, all doing different things out of pick and roll, and teams have to prep for that. And so just more well-equipped this year after playing heavy minutes starting at times, or playing a much more improved role off the bench. And so I think all our young guys have grown, and Reed's taking really good steps this year.
Coach, with you guys having a successful regular season last year, being a 2 seed, you came into this season with expectations. We know what Kevin Durant does with expectations. He's had that his entire career. But your young guys, your young core, what have you seen from them as far as growth this season with those same expectations?
Yeah, that we've had ups and downs as a team, no doubt, and gave away quite a few games. So we could obviously be in a better position than we are now at the wins and seeding. But like I said, playing good basketball at the right time is important, and all of our young guys have taken steps. Alpi, all-star again, Jabari, Amen, Reed, definitely you can see improvement there across the board, and taking steps throughout the season. So I think we're more well-equipped to not have to rely on Kevin or Alpi or whatever the case was last year, Fred at times in the playoffs. You see guys stepping up in different situations and growing across the board, and so more balance should bode well for us.
What's the biggest thing from these last 15 games you mentioned a few times that you think you can bring over into the playoffs?
Yeah, we've guarded better. That's the start. Just defending, and like I said, attention to detail, and locking in on personnel, and habits. I think in general that's gotten better, and that's going to be the case in the playoffs. Everybody, what everybody's going to run and what they're going to do. It's taking away certain situational things from guys, and so I think we've gotten better there defensively, and then our overall team sharing the ball, high assist numbers, low turnover numbers, just ball movement and body movement's been better in the second half of the season.
You guys will face LeBron James, that should be playing a lot of point guard, a lot of handling the ball for them. When he slows the game down in the postseason, does he make it that much more difficult with his excellent decision making?
Yeah, I mean, the game slows down regardless, so it's just one guy you can key in on a little bit more than obviously when they have Doncic or Reeves or, whatever the situation is going to be there. And so, yeah, we know that a lot is on his shoulders, and obviously we'll throw multiple bodies and different looks at him. But, yeah, he's obviously playing a high level for them with the injuries they've had, and we understand that's going to be the case going forward. Thank you.
Saturday night, 7:30, 4-5 matchup. The Rockets at Los Angeles to take on the LA Lakers. That's how the regular season comes to a close with a 132-101 win. Back with more on the postgame presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.